You're watching News here on the Rise News. Now, it usually takes almost superhuman efforts to erase the scars of physical, mental, or sexual abuse or violation of women, especially in Nigerian society where stigmas and stereotypes continue to hold sway. Now, healing remains a very slow and delicate process, and only uncommon care and restored to true professionalism are considered the most effective methods of achieving success. Pastor Shalom, Gibram Bamako, is a professional life coach and a faith leader who superintends over Choice Women Fellowship International. And she joins us right now to talk on this delicate subject. And we'll say good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
And happy independence, by the way.
Same here.
Okay. As we talk about in the independence spirit, a lot of Nigerians have been talking about restoration. A lot of Nigerians have been talking about the ability for us to have a Nigeria that is beneficial to everyone. Yes. You are coming from a spiritual angle. Let's start it off from that particular point. What's your prayer for Nigeria as Nigeria marks its 62nd anniversary?
Well, my prayer has always been that God should restore what we have lost. Because as a matter of fact, everyone is pained at this point because things were not like this. I'm not too young and I'm not too old. I think I've lived in this country for so many years, and I have an understanding of what worked before, how it's been, how we've been enjoyed peace. I mean, talking about insecurity, for instance, it wasn't like that. A few days ago, I was talking to somebody about how I had to travel one time to the north. As a while in the north, sometimes we arrive at destinations 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and nobody's afraid. But of course, today is not the case. So my prayer for Nigeria is that God should restore to us what we have lost and also bless us with someone who has a good heart to take us to our next place of rest.
Now, let's talk about women in society. And as it is becoming more evident, would you say that Nigerians are beginning to awaken to the peculiarity of women around us, and also the fact that we need to pay more attention to women and what happens to them and what they go through as entities? Do you think we're beginning to see a paradigm shift, or do you still think we're still stuck in the medieval era?
Not at all. I don't think we are still stuck. We're on course already. Going back my experience, this work have been here for 17 years. By God's grace, the Choice Women Fellowship has been there for 17 years, and I've met women from all walks of life. And I've seen a lot of improvement in those days where we were frowned at based on maybe prejudice, gender, whatever. I see much more acceptance now for the woman. And it's no longer gender. We're not as gender biased as we used to be in those days, especially in this part of the world. We are opening up for women to do things. Yesterday, I was in a gathering and I talked about educating the girl child. And that when you educate the girl child, you educate a girl child, you're educating the nation. And somebody came and said, no, ma, you're educating the world. So taking the girl child seriously at this point is something that we cannot but overemphasize. And we've given her her place, and we want her to move forward. Every woman is wired to make things happen. Every woman is wired to activate the things around her that are not activated. It's in us. And once we take a step, a bold step to get into reinvent or invent, we are able to achieve much. Thank you.
All right, we know that you're convening a women's convention very soon.
By God's grace.
In the spirit of where we are right now, and more importantly, the fact that we're in a transition process. What message would you have to the women in the role they play in determining who becomes our next president?
Well, one of the things I've discovered about the woman is she prays. And then where she's not allowed to say anything, or where she's not allowed to express herself, I think to an extent she can actually tell God what she feels. She can actually express herself. She can actually explain what message she has to convey. So at this point, one of the things, the first and foremost thing I want to encourage every woman out there to do, which we are doing right now, is to be deliberate and intentional about praying for our nation, and then encourage women, as many women as that can come out there to support the right thing, because we are not raised to support the wrong thing, to support the right thing, and it will go a long way to make so much impact in our society. Also, in the place where we are now, you discover that everybody, you were raised by somebody. You were raised by somebody. I usually tell people around me, or women especially, if you don't like what you see in your husband, and because it is traceable to maybe the way he was raised, if you don't like it, then start working on your children. If you know the right thing, don't let that repetition, that cycle to continue. You can stop it by the way you raise your own children. It's tough, but when you watch the wrong thing, the people today that you're not happy with, that you feel they are heartless, they are not understanding, somebody raised them. So it still comes back to us as mothers, as women, as wives, to do the right thing. I keep saying to women, do the right thing and you get the result. Whatever you don't do well will certainly show. It can't hide.
All right, as a mother, as a counselor, domestic violence, physical violence, we see takes a toll on the woman. And sometimes we see it even spill over into the children. Talk to us. How best do we avoid getting ourselves in that sticky situation? And speak to those women who probably could not avoid that and find themselves at this very spot. What can they do to ensure?
Are you talking about the one that's been abused or the caregiver?
So now, how do we prevent?
Is it the caregiver of the abused or the abused?
Now we're talking about the abused.
The abused, okay.
Because they are the endangered species now.
Yes.
So talk to us about preventive measures for someone that might just be on that path and does not know it. And someone that has found herself in that particular ugly scenario. What can she do?
The first and foremost thing you must do, especially you find yourself, you just discovered, like you said, there are people that are constantly abused and they are not even aware until somebody points it to them. Because maybe growing up they've been told that it's okay, it's fine.
So what is not, demystify it for us. What is not okay that they've told us in the past is okay?
Yes, you don't say it. You don't come out and talk about it, even if somebody is doing something like this. For instance, if a child grows in an environment where, there's no regard for sex, especially extramarital sex, he feels that everybody is going that way. If you are raising a child and the child sees you, for instance, you have a home or a house, you live with a child, a young person, and then the person sees each time you come in with men. Maybe you're a mother there, you're supposed to be a mother or a caretaker or something. And he sees you hanging with men. And what are you, because your position there is to put that child on the right path. So the child watches it, because whatever children watch, that's what they do. As a child grows, is what we do. They mimic, they want to do things the way we do. So constantly, over a time, this child has seen this, my mother is doing it, so it's fine, it's okay. And then sometimes I know a lady who said to me, if my husband, if we don't have to fight, to get things done in my marriage, I'll prefer to always fight to have my way. I'll prefer to always have a misunderstanding with my spouse, and that's the only way I know he loves me. So I don't know where she got it. Somebody must have told her that. And then so the child grew in that environment, and then it starts happening to that child. That child also start getting abused. That child feels it's okay because somebody's doing it. Maybe tomorrow, someday, he meets or she meets somebody, and the person says this, and person wants to find out how. What do you mean? Are you sure? Say, yes, this is how it is. That's number one. Then the second, so you have to put that person, see how you can help, and you must bring the person to the point where the person should accept what you have to say. Because the first thing if I walked in here and I introduced myself, and you're the one I asked you, are you the one I'll be talking to? So I need to know who I'm talking to. I need to know I'm accepted to sit, to listen, or to take questions from you. So once a child or a person accepts your place as a leader or your leadership, the person is able to,
Pastor
bring in
Shalom,
changes.
I want to say, I would have loved to continue because I wanted to ask, how do you break that cycle? But my producers are telling me we are already out of time.
Okay,
well, I want to say, just if you can just chip that in, how do we break the cycle?
How you can break the cycle is somebody should start talking. Because if you are abused and you keep quiet, it will continue. You empower the abuser as long as you are silent.
All right.
You are not you shouldn't be silent at the face of abuse.
All right. Pastor Shalom, I want to say thank you very much. We wish you and your ministry all the best in your forthcoming Women's Convention.
Thank you so much.